Welcome to the Seeing Double podcast, hosted by gymowners.com. We're your hosts. I'm Amy Davis.
And I'm Patty Davis.
We're two identical twins with completely different lives. We'll be sharing double the perspective of any topic we dive into.
All right, guys, let's jump in. Hey guys, welcome back to the Seeing Double podcast. Let me tell you, we have some stories for you in this episode, and if you can't see us right now, we are wearing our I Love Twins t-shirts, and we're ready to talk about being twins.
I'll set the stage for us here, and that is that last week we went to the largest twins festival. I think that they declared their title to be the largest annual gathering of multiples, because it's not just twins here, it's triplets, quadruplets, you name it. I'm not sure if there was fives or sixes, whatever you would call that, but everywhere you look, there is multiples. It is actually insane. So the festival is called Twins Days, and it takes place in Twinsburg, Ohio, every year, the first weekend of August. We went when we were growing up. What was that? 9 or 10 years ago, and hadn't been back since. And I'm telling you, the festival got even more crazy in the past decade.
Really crazy. There were over 2,100 sets of twins here. So that is 4,200 people that just have someone looking identical to them right next door.
And it's insane. Literally, we're so used to as twins just sticking out in a crowd or sticking out at school or sticking out in the community that you're in when you're walking around with someone that looks exactly like you. But at this festival, it's deemed normal. It's weird to see someone that's not a twin there, like to the point where we go to this parade that they host every year. I think it's like Saturday morning every year. They call it the Double Take Parade. And literally, it's just twins. All sets
walking
of twins.
On a street.
Walking on a street in front of the normal town civilians. And I'm telling you, you just walk. Your hands are literally at your side. Your twin is just next to you, just struggling as much as you are. And you're just walking.
There's twins that are married to twins. I remember we were walking, we turned around, and there was just two girls that looked the exact same, holding on to hands with two guys that looked the exact same. And
also,
everywhere.
That's not abnormal. That's not just like one pair of those there. They're everywhere. Like there is one like well-known couple that has done that, and they're all over TLC and stuff. But just to be in the parade and look around and see these multiples everywhere is crazy. You'll be walking down the parade, and the civilians on this sidewalk, they're literally pointing out sets of twins and like, oh my gosh, look at those ones. Look at those ones. And you're just walking there like a science project. Like I actually felt like a science project as I was walking down the parade. And it's just crazy.
Do you remember when we actually were in a science project?
Oh my gosh, in college. What was it? I can't remember.
We were at Michigan State, and we got invited to a science, biological, DNA type study, and they paid us a few $100s. We got twins t-shirts.
It had to do with hormones and emotions. Yeah, and it had to do with hormones and emotions, and we had to fill out either a daily or weekly survey on how we were feeling as an individual, not as a set of twins. And then they basically compared them and cross-compared them to each other to see if we were feeling the same thing. That's what I remember it being. And I remember we were living in our house at the time, but we were in separate bedrooms, and we'd have to separate to take the survey because they were super picky about not taking it together. And it went on for, I don't know, how long did it go on for? Maybe a couple months.
At least 2 months.
And then we got $200 at the end of it?
Yeah.
Just to be declared that we're crazy because we have such similarities. But anyways, back to the festival. That's literally what it felt like the whole time. Like you were under a test. And actually there were more science projects being done there. We were invited to do one for skincare and comparing skin profiles on sets of twins and just stuff that you wouldn't think of if you're not a twin. It just, you wouldn't think of that being an abnormality for a pair of multiples. But anyways, it's just all over the festival. Everywhere you look, there's two of everyone. And it was insane. I do have to ask one thing, Patty. Have you seen the viral reel of the Festival of Ryans? It is actually hilarious.
The podcast Matt was listening to was talking about it, and that is so funny.
Literally,
because there's so many Ryans.
So many Ryans, and they all share common characteristics as well. So I saw this reel, and they were in a bar, and someone called out, Ryan! And all these guys just turned around. It was so funny.
That's funny.
I'm glad they have that to go to, because this Twins Festival for us to go to every year was just like such a great experience. And I think, to speak for myself, and I'm going to probably pull you along with me, we're going to be going forward like every year. So honestly, we just need to invite as many twins as we can to that festival to get that number even higher, because I've already invited, like, I would say a dozen sets of twins since we've been there. As soon as someone says to me, oh, my cousins are twins, or, oh, I have a set of twins, I'm like, okay, see you at Twinsburg next year. Like, you need to be there.
You're invited.
It is the weekend for twins.
Amy is the marketing person for Twinsburg, Ohio.
They actually need a marketing person, but no, I can't do that. Okay, but I want to bring up too, remember, there's a set of twins there that they own a company or a business. I think it's called Twins Talent, and they scope out opportunities for twins to...
And they scoped us out.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up. They scoped us out. So basically, they scope out opportunities for twins that are needed for sets of a TV show or a movie or a commercial or whatever. So after we first crossed paths with them, like over a decade ago when we were at Twinsburg for the first time, they scoped us out. Remember what we did?
They sent us, this was our freshman year of college, I believe. Maybe
I think so. Freshman year. Yeah.
They got us on the Steve Harvey talk show. And we were like, first of all, scared. But the point of the show was, what was it, Amy? Matching?
No, the point of the show is you show up matching, which is not abnormal for us because we match every single day. So in college, we're already matching every single day of freshman year. And the point was you show up to the show matching in Chicago. They take you out shopping and basically redo your style and supposedly at the same time redo your identity so that you can be recognized as an individual instead of a twin. So, first of all, we had like a 24-hour warning of this. I remember literally being in our dorm, like about to go to bed one night, and then we got this email saying that this would be the perfect opportunity for us. And Patty, of course, was the first one to be like, oh my God, we're going to do it. Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
So we got all dolled up pretty that night. Not to go out to a bar, but to make a freaking reel, like a video of us speaking to why we should come on to this show. And we made it so late at night. I think it was like midnight. We sent it in, and then literally the next morning, they're like, okay, we want you here. Can you come in? And it was like such quick turnaround. We didn't have any time to like get a haircut, nothing. It was just like, okay, be in Chicago. So we got into Chicago, and like I said, they take you out shopping, pick out clothes to change your style and change your identity, quote unquote.
Which they did not do.
Well, they attempted to do.
Spoiler.
So we show up in our athletic clothes that we had matching all the time, every day. We show up in this athletic clothes, literally had to get a headshot taken, just hands at our side, just staring directly at the camera, basically looking like we were miserable to be matching.
Yep.
And then we go out shopping, and they picked out the craziest outfits for us.
You got lucky. Yours was okay.
I didn't know.
I was pretty sure that I was going to be the joke of the show because I had... Oh, wait, that was you.
That was me. Yes, that happens all
Amy
the time.
had this skirt on.
Yep.
Amy had this skirt on that was literally 5 feet long. It went from her stomach all the way down to the floor, and it looked like a curtain.
And it also had what do you call
poof.
it? A poof shirt. It was a poof, and it poofed out.
She wore a petticoat.
Okay, but the cute part was the bodysuit. I had like a plain black bodysuit that I was okay to be wearing. But then this skirt, it was like a foamy material, like a thick foam material, and it poofed outward. And it went not all the way down to the floor because just enough room to show the cowboy boots that I was wearing. Remember? Cowboy boots on my feet.
I forgot.
Yes. Okay, so that was the outfit that I wore. And then my makeup, I remember, green eyeshadow. All the way up to my eyebrow. If not up and over my eyebrow, green eyeshadow.
But that is a TV thing.
That was TV makeup. Yeah, but what were you wearing? Because your outfit was styled to be much different than my contemporary cowgirl.
I thought I was wearing your outfit, so now that I have
No, you were wearing, I remember, a flowery dress.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was like a sundress, like a... I don't know, like you little
That's
house
rude.
on the prairie. You were literally the little girl in the prairie, whatever that is. You were wearing this sundress, and you looked beautiful. I know it wasn't like your favorite dress you've ever worn, but it was much more like normal than what I was wearing, and it was short, and it was just like flowery and silky, and your makeup was semi-normal. And then we walk out on the stage, literally like a fashion icon down this little runway. We walk out on the stage in both these different outfits, and it's like, I remember we were like kind of scripted on what to say. And he asked us, he's
scripted.
like, so how do you feel? And we're both like,
good.
So good. Silence. well, are you happy to be wearing different clothes? And both of us are like, yeah, we have different identities now. And then remember, it was like right before spring break. And he said, are you going to take these outfits on spring break? We were going like on a cruise that year or something. I'm like,
no.
If we have to wear this on spring break, I'm done. But anyways, it was a great opportunity and it was fun.
The best part about it was that we thought nothing would ever come from this. We were totally fine being out of our comfort zone, uncomfortable, but like the people at home didn't need to know. Just a couple of weeks later, we got back from spring break. We're sitting at Michigan State in the dorms eating lunch. And we look at the TV and this episode is on. All I see is Amy. I'm like, oh no. Like, that was the first time we had seen
remember
it.
that moment while we were eating, and there's like only one TV screen in Acres dorm anyways, in Acres Caf anyways. One TV screen, and sure enough, the Steve Harvey show is on. And there I am, just standing there in this skirt, this foam skirt with cowgirl boots sticking out of the bottom. And I remember like, our mom had posted on Facebook, so we had all sorts of people asking, like, oh my gosh, it aired. Like, then other people saying, well, where can I find it? Where can I see it? I'm like, this does not need to be spoken of. Can't we just pretend like this didn't happen? First of all, we went back to wearing identical clothes literally the next day, so unfortunately, their strategy didn't work for them. But
thank God.
That reminds me, though, that you did another TV show, although this one was without me.
So this led to the same casting agent was going to the Jay Leno show, and this was like last year, maybe
Recently.
2 years ago. This was recent. And let me just start that Amy did not do it with me. There was like a COVID thing going on, I think like an exposure. It was back then. So when you're a twin and you do something without your twin, you're already bound to probably not enjoy it. But this one, like, I just wanted to win some money, like, whatever. It was a game show. So they have this very scripted, like Amy mentioned about Steve Harvey, like usually they tell you exactly what to say. So unfortunately...
Are we breaking NDA by saying this? I don't think so. Sorry, keep going. I
sure
think we're
hope
fine.
not, because-
No, we're fine. Keep going.
I'm pretty sure they're not listening.
Keep going.
But during the audition, like, kudos to me, I had no stories to tell, but they wanted me to talk about Halloween. And so I was talking about stupid Halloween story that I was dressed up as a devil. And they're like, this is the best story we've ever heard. Like, I accidentally got stuck on the bridge to Canada, which is a long story, but I can share if you're interested.
No, I think you need to share that. You can't just say that.
Okay, so I'm dressed as a devil. It's Halloween. It's my first Halloween in
Not
Detroit.
just any devil. It was a slutty devil.
I
It
was
was a
dressed as a
skimpy
slutty
dress.
devil.
Yes.
And unfortunately, like, when you're from northern Michigan, those highways are so big down there that I'm pretty sure I, like, saw the exit that I was supposed to go on but missed it. So I'm like, oh, I'll just take the next one. Bridge to Canada. Like, I am on the bridge to Canada.
Literally.
Horrible.
Crossing
And
the bridge over borders.
I, like, made a joke because I had no problem getting help. Like, I was dressed in a red bra. I am sorry, Mom. All the security guards were, like, offering to help me. Like, I actually got turned around by a golf cart and followed the golf cart back. It was just so awkward. Customs was totally involved. Anyway, I tell the people this from Jay Leno, and they're like, your episode's airing near Halloween. That's the story we want. I'm like, are you kidding me? So
Yeah.
from the start, Jay Leno calls me the slutty devil.
That was literally like your contestant name, Slutty Devil.
That was my contestant
And
name.
I like that you didn't even tell us, like, your closest family members. You were, like, too embarrassed to tell us to expect that once it went live. That I didn't even know that's what you were referred to or anything until AJ and I found the episode and watched it. Like, we didn't watch
Honestly,
it in live TV,
praying. I was just hopeful that maybe it was a family TV show and they were going to cut that part.
but
I'm
he
like,
referred to you as the Slutty Devil multiple
I
times.
know. And then he did, like, start to switch it to Skimpy, which I don't even know if that's better, but Skimpy Devil.
No, that's not
I'm
better.
like, Jay, this is not the move. And, like, my parents were, like, telling their friends to watch it. I was telling my boss about it. And next thing you know, like, that's the episode.
Okay, but you were the one that crossed the border on Halloween in a Slutty Devil costume. So you did it to yourself a little bit. But that show was successful. Like, you made money on that show.
Yeah.
You actually, like, did really good at answering those contestant questions.
Thank you. I had the best partner. Like, I remember being in the hotel lobby and you're not supposed to be talking to your partner. So I didn't know who my partner was. I just assumed he wasn't near us. And he was the greatest guy. He was like 70 years old, totally different walk of life. He knew the answer to almost every question. Like, I only had to answer one total question by myself, and I did it.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It was I know what that question was.
Yeah. So that was another twin experience that did come from knowing those twin casters or whatever we call them.
But another one was, I don't know if we ever fully applied, but I remember in college, like later in college, maybe our second or third year, making an audition tape for Survivor.
Stop.
We were literally on a trip in Arizona, and we like fake climbed cliffs, and we like literally like hid under trees and like came off as these like wildlife girls.
Did we ever send that
I don't
in?
know that we sent it in, but I remember you were the one pushing it. You were the one wanting to do it.
Oh,
so
I was in.
Yeah, we made an audition tape. I don't think that we ever sent it in, and I'm also glad we didn't, and we never went on that show because
Thank God.
I couldn't live in
What
the
would we
wildlife
even
like
do
that.
there? Like, just the two of us in a tent, fending on our own.
Okay,
Like,
it's not
do
just
they
the two of
even
us.
have tents? Like,
Yeah, it's actually more established than like Naked and Afraid that I watch pretty often, but
that is kind of what I'm picturing.
it's like a little bit more of like a game show side of it where you would have to do these challenges and stuff that would be fun, but not the living in the wildlife under the rain with animals side of it. But I remember
luckily
when
that
we
one
were
didn't
making the audition tape, we were literally like on hikes, and you would like set the camera up, and we had to practice like running down the road right in front of the camera,
Yeah, I
like
do
multiple
remember.
times to make sure we looked like so badass. And it never came together. Thankfully.
We were badass.
Kind of, but
No.
not like enough to be on Survivor.
Thank God. I don't know what we would have done for that one.
You
was
also
one of my bad
recently
ideas.
made me almost audition for that commercial for the cruise line where they needed aerial silks
Okay.
and pole dancers to show off like their new anti-gravity room. They had like a anti-gravity
Yeah.
room that they were adding to their cruise ships. So they wanted like aerial silkists and like pole dancers and like fun stuff like that to be in their commercial. And so
That one could have worked out, though. There was no speaking. It was
true,
just...
but literally,
we love
Patty, we
gymnastics.
haven't been in an aerial silk since high school. We did that very strongly in high school and absolutely loved it. Even though we used
case
to
you
literally
don't
do that
know.
in the cafeteria. Remember?
Yes.
We would
In case you don't
that.
know, an aerial silk is just this piece of fabric that hangs from the ceiling. And for some reason, we were gymnasts, so we did this in high school. They made us do it in our high school cafeteria.
You like climb up and you tie your feet in cool ways and you do like these cool funky drops where it looks like you're gonna just splat.
Yes.
You don't splat. So that's like the best part when you don't splat. But
Sometimes you splat.
but it was so fun. But we literally hadn't done that since high school, which I remind you is like,
know.
what, 10 years ago now? Like 9 years ago? And we are
Yeah.
not in any way, shape, or form a good fit for that right now. So I'm so
don't like
glad
how
that
you-
I called you off.
Said pole dancing. I mean,
There
pole
was.
dancing
That's not
is
bad.
not negative. You said it like pole dancing. I'm like, we would have killed that. That would have been so fun. I honestly still am sad we didn't do that.
Okay,
It
but I
ended
think
up being
that you wanted us to audition for that because you wanted to be able to do those things, not because you can do those things.
I think I can do that stuff.
Have you ever done it
Yes.
in the past
I used
year?
No. It's been at least 4.
My point. Literally, we couldn't do it. People do that on a like for their living, and they
But we
should be on
always-
the commercials.
We always find ourselves in these situations. Like that one, the girl was really pushing us to audition for. So I'm over there, people pleaser, turned on, like, we are in. Do you remember the music video that we were a part of in college?
Yes, this actually is something good to speak about as twins because I remember when we shot that music video, they wanted us because we were twins. Like that was the point. So we
Yes.
wore the exact same outfit, of course, like that should be a given by now. But here we are in this music video, sticking out like a sore thumb. Literally, that was the
Literally.
point, to make us stick out like a sore thumb.
What does that analogy even mean? What is a sore thumb?
That means that you like are recognizable, or like if your thumb is sore,
Okay.
maybe you like hit it on stuff all the time or something. But I've used that analogy before, and I don't know exactly what it means. But you stick out like
We
a sore
were
thumb.
sticking out,
Maybe
so
because
that
the
makes
shape of
sense.
your hand, your thumb like sticks out.
No,
But
I'm pretty sure
anyways-
it's okay.
Back to what I said about Twinsburg, you don't stick out like a sore thumb at Twinsburg.
Yeah.
Because there's twins everywhere. You absolutely love it. You're like able to relax for once and like fit in. Not in
Yes.
this music video. Instead, it was like separating us from the crowd, making us like look like
Ew.
what? Like aliens. Like we were literally out. So we had fun though, Patty. I mean, it was fun. The song was like decent. It was good.
The song was great, but the second video was about like a rap contest and we were choosing sides.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were like Taylor Swift listeners back there. We're like, how did we find ourselves in this situation?
Yeah.
I mean, there was like crazy rap Afro, what's it called? Crazy Afro, I think that's his name, playing, and Amy's like beating to the music. I'm like, Amy, you've never heard this song in your life. And for some reason, they like gave her points for knowing the song. I'm like,
oh my gosh, I remember that. Although Taylor Swift does have a rap that we do know every word to. So like,
I do know every
don't
word.
count us out. We have a little bit of that in us from that rap.
I know. I miss that
Oh,
song.
I remember that. Okay, so that was a few fun twins things. Do you remember? Well, actually, yeah, you remember because we just wore these. My mom, on one of our trips, randomly decided that we were going to be fans of the baseball team. I think it's Minnesota. Twins. Is it Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah. We don't even know. But my mom got us these awesome jerseys. She went
Bless
all
her,
in.
honestly.
She got these Twins jerseys that say Davis on the back, and I had number 1 and you had number 2. And
Yeah.
we found those this past week while we were at her house. And we wore them. And I let Patty be number 1 for the first time.
You were really salty about it. I didn't even mean to. It was just the first jersey that we found.
Yeah, true. And you just put it on because it was in your bedroom. Yeah, now I remember. But was that
Yeah.
not funny? We like literally went all in on being fans of the Twins baseball team just because we're
Yeah.
twins. I wonder if anyone else has that mindset or if they're fans of that baseball team just because they're twins.
I'm going to assume not. Because
Wait,
I'm
it would
pretty
be
sure
like
it's
kind of
not
cool
referring
if
to that.
all twins went in on this baseball team and like they just had a fan base of all twins. Like that should be a thing.
You should bring that up next year, but I'm pretty sure people are going to be opposed.
And fans of their own teams.
No, but I do remember we were sitting like kind of behind the Dugget. Or
Dug
not
out.
the Dugget. Dug in. we were
dug
sitting
out.
behind we were sitting behind the dugout. And there was this one player who kept waving at us. And
Oh my
at that
gosh.
moment, I did feel like a science experiment again. Because
Yes.
we had like matching red headbands. We had the little gold necklace. Like we had every part of us the exact same.
And this player
this
kept trying to
player-
get her attention. I remember that
Yeah.
too. And we
Which-
were wearing sunglasses, so we tried not to look in his direction. And then mom kept being like, oh my God, he's waving at me. And we're sitting next to him like the science projects that we are. And we're like, Mom, no, he's not waving at you.
I know.
Oh, that is so
baseball.
funny. Baseball.
Yeah, we had
we're
no
not even
clue.
like huge baseball fans. I think that's like the closest I've been to a baseball fan.
Literally. I know.
Although, do you remember my most recent encounter with a baseball player?
Oh my God. Justin Verlander.
Justin Verlander.
Amy has the best Justin Verlander
Oh my gosh,
story.
I'll tell this one quick. I mean, we've gotten into a few of our driving incidents in the past episodes, so this one could be a little finalizing touch to this episode. I was driving to gymnastics practice this past competition season on a Saturday morning, and if I'm ever early for something, which I rarely am, I treat myself to Starbucks on the way
Never.
in. Never. So I like hadn't been to this Starbucks location in probably 6 months because usually I'm just rushing to get into the gym Saturday morning. But not
Right.
this morning. I had time. So Saturday morning, I'm pulling in to Starbucks, came in hot off of the main road, and
Hit the curb.
did hit a curb on the way in because didn't realize that I was coming in the exit of the drive-thru versus like the entrance of the drive-thru line. So I come in to the exit. I need to make the story quick. Come in through the exit, hit a couple curbs on the way in, and come to a complete halt because there's just so many cars around me, all coming the opposite direction toward me. So here I am in my little white Tesla, like, oh God, I really did it this time. I'm literally in a position I should not be in, facing the wrong direction, and I can't reverse out the exit back onto the busy road because that like definitely would not go well for me. So
No.
this nice man gets out of his car and comes up in front of me, tells me to roll my window down and says, I'll help you turn around, just follow what I say. I'm like, thank the Lord, he's watching over me. He sent me this
angel.
guardian angel to take care of me. So this man, he says, you know, turn your wheel all the way to the right, put it in reverse, and move back just a little bit. No, stop, that's good. And then turn your wheel all the way to the left, put it forward, come forward a little bit, and stop, that's good. And then spin it all the way to the right again. And then I would like not spin it all the way. He's like, spin it a little more for the wheel. So anyways, I ended up doing like, I think it was a 9-point turn. You know, like how a 3-point turn is like
was.
hard to execute? This was a 9-point turn. And I had little to no space. My car has a great turn radius. That's actually the first thing I said when I got out of my car. So I made it work, but it was like the sharpest little turns that I had to make to get turned around to the direction I needed to be in.
Okay.
So long story short, complete the 9-point turn, literally owe this man my life because I thought I was like going to be stuck there until the lot emptied out, and got myself into a parking spot with his help. So I get out of my car. I'm like, thank you so much, first of all. Second of all, my car has an impressive turn radius. Am I right? Like, that was like kind of impressive. And he just like blew it off. And then I said, this Starbucks location needs to hire someone like you to be out here any hour that they're open. Because they are always busy. Like, I cannot be the first person this has happened to. Yeah. I cannot be the first person this has happened to. So I told him, I'm like, you need to work here. You need to work at the Starbucks location and help people like me park. So then we walk inside the store. He holds the door open. We walk in. I get in line. He starts waiting for his mobile order. And next thing you know, everyone's taking pictures of him. Everyone pulls their phone out and they're all taking pictures of him. I'm like, why are people taking pictures of him? Like, that's just so weird. Why are they
people
taking
pictures of the parking attendant?
Yeah. So very long story short, the lady in front of me just turns around and like saw my confused look. And she's like, do you watch baseball? I'm like, no. Baseball, I haven't watched like a baseball game since I went to a Twins game when my mom made us Twins fans. So I'm like, no, I'm not a baseball fan. She's like, that's Justin Verlander over there. And like, as she said that, I look over and make eye contact. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. I told her, I'm like, I literally just told him he should work at the Starbucks because they need a parking lot attendant. And so long story short, that was my run-in with Justin Verlander. And I remember like, as soon as she told me that, I like took a closer look at him and thought of him as like not the parking lot attendant. And sure enough, he's like wearing a champs hat. Like it said like champion or champs or something on it. And like had, I don't know. I just like,
you learned that
hit me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't just accept help from anyone because then I'm going to find myself in more situations than this.
It is impressive that someone of that like celebrity magnitude, like you can't recognize him.
Would you have recognized him?
I don't know what he looks like, but I do know.
So no, you went to. He's
I would
married
notice
to
Kate
her.
Upton. Yeah.
Okay, well, she wasn't with them because he was by himself, just helping me park.
Helping you out.
Okay, that was a distracting story, but I hope that it entertained you because it was humiliating, and I went to gymnastics practice after that. Like, what did I just do? I'm like, actually, I was expecting him to like tweet about it, about the freaking blonde that pulled into the parking lot backwards and like
have an ego.
Got stuck. No, I knew he wouldn't, but I was like so embarrassed. And then I probably should have just kept that story to myself, but no, I had to go and tell quite a few people because it was just memorable.
Mom loves that story. Every time you tell that, Mom's like, Justin Verlander met my daughter.
Yeah. What a great encounter. Okay,
first
back
impression.
to Twins. Anything else on the note of Twins? That was a sidetracked story from the Twins baseball team that has nothing to do with Justin Verlander, but whatever.
No, but I will say we probably will talk about being twins in a few episodes. Not any more in depth, but later on.
Yeah, let's consider this a part one. How about that? A part one at the look inside of being a twin.
And letting Justin Verlander help you park.
Against my will. If I would have known it was him, I probably would have said, no, I don't need help. Just
Very good at parking. Thank you.
Okay, that's all for this episode. But thank you for joining us on another episode of Seeing Double Podcast. See you later.
Bye.